Hey there everyone. Before we get into today's conversation, we wanted to ask you a quick favour. I know, we're trying to learn more about who's listening to More Than a Score. Whether you're a parent, educator, or just someone figuring out your own pathway, we want to make every episode as relevant as possible to you. So, we've got a really short survey, literally 10 seconds, 2 questions. And as a thank you, we're putting everyone who completes it into a $100 prize draw, which we'll announce live at the end of April. The link's in the show notes if you'd like to help us out, and thank you in advance.
I have never known what I wanted to do with my life, and I still don't know what I want to do with my life, but I know that I'm where I'm meant to be right now, and that I'm making a difference, and that I'm happy and having fun. And I'm very lucky that I'm in a space where I get to be goofy, I get to be serious, I get to train hard, I get to make people feel good about themselves and impact their lives in a real way that actually, is significant.
What if you, or someone close to you, don't enjoy school, and you're not quite sure where you fit? Well, everyone, this episode's for you. Today we're joined by Jasper Nettlefold, someone whose experience of school wasn't always easy, who didn't follow a clear or linear path, but who has built his life through experience, relationships, and actually backing himself along the way. From feeling like school was a bit of a minefield to finding his identity through sport, work, and travel, Jasper's story is a reminder that you don't need to have everything figured out, and a score really doesn't determine your fate. And even better, we're catching him as he's still midway through some of his thinking and his path. We talk about the pressure to follow the same path as everyone else, the power of mentors and the people around you, and what it actually looks like to shape your own version of success over time. If you're a parent trying to support your child through that uncertainty, or you're going through it yourself, this conversation will give you a different way to think about it. Welcome to this episode of More Than a Score.
Hey, both of you, is that black or is that navy?
What?
Your top?
Navy.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You nearly got the memo.
I didn't get the memo.
Optics aren't going to be as great.
No, I apologize.
Optics. You're sounding intelligent.
I love using words that I don't fully comprehend.
I feel like optics just means like what it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah.
Makes you sound more intelligent.
Yeah, I like it.
Exactly what I just said not to do. Don't worry.
That's all. Nah, that's all.
Using it.
That's what you say in meetings. If you do want everyone to think you're clever, you're like, well, what are the optics of this?
Well,
everyone's like, well,
Because my partner was very corporate.
Okay.
We'll pull out stupid words like whips and stuff like that in the gym setting in our team meetings, but it's so dumb. It's like, I was like, guys, we've got a whip on Thursday. And they're like, what is that?
Yeah, what is
I
that?
don't know.
What is it?
I don't know what it was.
Progress.
Oh,
So I thought you were talking about like
gotcha, like a stand-up.
Keep
Yeah,
poor
we're in
people.
progress.
Jasper Andrew Nettlefold.
Strong.
Yeah, strong name. It's lovely to have you on More Than a Score. I'm very lucky I get to do the introduction for each guest.
Wow.
Yes, thank you. And you can nervously drink that delicious coffee you've got just there.
Mhm.
Oh, no, I was just waiting for you to.
That's all right. I'll pad this out for as long as needed. So when thinking of Jasper Andrew Nettlefold, deep thinker, quietly disciplined, and stall gift sprinter, athlete, proud uncle, reader of sci-fi fantasy, and a great weightlifter. A community creator, leader, coach, a people person, and co-owner of Habit. Someone who didn't love school but still has built a very meaningful life. And expert coffee creator, drinker, we can see that in evidence right now, Laura, and motivator. And also, after talking to one of your other owners of Habit, the designated bin taker outerer. I've been told to include that in. Jasper, it's lovely to have you on More Than a Score.
That was incredible.
Thanks,
I
mate.
appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's a lovely reaction.
Good at those.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, he really likes them.
I can see why.
I love that you're both so proud of me right now, and that I'm sitting here quietly chuffed, just like, oh, thanks, guys.
It's fantastic. It's a skill.
You're blushing a little bit, actually.
It's a skill. The start of
Because I don't want to make it about
a
me.
novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is your life.
Yeah.
It's great.
First question we always ask is, were you happy with your score?
No. No?
You could say that.
Yeah, no, but I was surprised.
Tell me about that.
Like my ATAR score? Yeah.
Which is why you weren't surprised.
Well, I wasn't surprised because I did anything and everything to avoid studying.
Mm-hmm.
I just, new interests would suddenly arise when it was time to study. I got really good at guitar.
So procrastination seeds.
Yes. Oh, I'm so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Video games, hour-long conversations with my girlfriend, and just pretty much anything I could do to not be studying.
Yeah.
But then I would get cut up about it when I didn't do well. So
Yeah. Okay.
it's illogical, but
So what was the rhetoric around you at this point? So who is telling you what in year 12?
as in like teachers.
All of the people.
Yeah, like I can't fault any of it. Like I went to Padua and it was, I don't know if it is still now, but it was like such a great school. Like I had some really cool teachers that I have great memories and fond memories of. I just had this narrative in my head that I wasn't academic and I didn't enjoy it, and I just considered myself, I was like, well, I'm lazy. I'm a lazy guy. And mum was like real firm on me, or tried to be, bless her, to like she pushed me. She was a pusher in the best way possible. So like there's no reason why I had all the opportunities. So it sounds like really selfish or stupid to say, but I just, whatever reason, I just couldn't do it. Yeah, it made me feel gross. I didn't like doing it.
So you said your mum was a pusher in the best possible ways.
Yeah.
How did she push you then?
Oh, she helped me write like a study schedule, like a full week plan.
Yeah. The
Which
whip.
Sash hated.
Yeah.
She's like, grow up. She's very independent.
This is your partner, for anyone that doesn't know you. Yes.
Sasha. She's very independent, self-motivated person. And so she didn't have that problem. She'd be like similar to mum, like, come on.
Yeah.
And just didn't do it, couldn't do it, didn't like it.
So she knew you back then. So you've been together for quite a while.
Yeah, just over 15 years.
And so if were you a procrastinator for all subjects, or were there some areas where you noticed that the motivation, you were more
If I
motivated?
got like real good feedback from teachers or like attention, there was a philosophy teacher who gave me one of those real like movie speeches of like, I know you can do better, like real sort of one-on-one. And then on the next test, I got like a B, and he was like so ecstatic for me. And like it was like, obviously it stuck with me because I still remember it now. So like I think I just didn't excel in maybe like a group classroom setting. Like I even remember my year 10 English and economics teacher, shout out Miss Lunny, and yeah, she took like a special interest in me for whatever reason, and I wrote like a short story and got like an A on that. And then in economics, totally different subject, same teacher, I loved that because I had that trust built with her. I think that's what it was.
Seems like relationships.
I needed a relationship, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person that I can just follow what a robot's saying on the screen and be happy with that
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
You said that you had labelled yourself non-academic and lazy, and based on where I know your pathway is headed, you're clearly not a lazy person. So
Like I think I can be, or like I've categorized myself as that because I mean it was a lot simpler. I don't want to say back in the day because I'm only 31, but back then there wasn't as much awareness around education and what people needed and what kids needed. I feel like that's been like maybe the past 5 years.
I think there's been a huge explosion post-COVID, actually, probably because of,
Yeah.
I think because of online and what we're able to access.
Yeah.
I was teaching
Okay.
at that time,
Yeah.
and I would agree with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, I think back then it was like if you're not studying or trying hard, you're lazy, and it was quite black and white. Maybe again, I could be saying the wrong thing, but so I just took that as like you're lazy, like you don't want to work hard, you don't.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Well, I think that there certainly was the optic of what it meant to work hard, and there was a very specific way in which that was supposed to look.
Yeah.
Whereas I think now we're much more open to the varied ways in which success may look or work may appear.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think that there was the whole, you're doing well at school, you studied, you stayed back, you worked with the teachers, you did extra work, you did practice exams. Like if you were not doing all of those things, you probably felt as though you weren't up in that. Yeah.
Very much so. Like nail on the head. And I remember there was this stigma around going to like doing VCAM. And I'm not sure what it's called now.
It's VM now, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and like anyone that would leave in year 10 and do a trade was considered like lazy or stupid or a dropout.
Isn't that wild?
It's so
Yeah, so crazy.
like I wish I had maybe done that.
Mm.
I don't regret my pathways at all. It's got me where I am today, but just back then, like that's such a silly thought. It's so mean because those people maybe they just realized that school wasn't for them and they'd rather be out in the world getting hands-on experience.
For sure.
Why is that stupid? It's not. So
And the world of AI,
yeah,
all of those things are super important.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
All those skills, yeah.
So what about when you see your ATAR come and you read the score, and you don't have to say what the score is. There's no
about it.
There's no, yeah, well, that's it. And we always let the guests choose whatever they want to say. But I guess talk us through the moment. So you see it and you weren't that surprised.
Yeah.
Talk us through what then comes, like what happens immediately next after all of that time where you're like, I needed to feel seen. I needed relationships. I needed to understand the purpose of why I'm learning what I'm learning.
Yeah.
You get your ATAR.
Yeah.
Like what happens next?
Well, I am going to be honest about it because I do think not being honest about it, at least for me personally, is a negative thing. Because again, I don't want to.
Yeah, you value being honest.
Yeah, exactly. At least for me, I think it was like 55 or like 52, so something in there, which is just like not many avenues after that. Not surprised, but also really disappointed.
Yeah.
So you were kind of hoping that you opened this score and it was just miraculously like 92.
Like I just
what?
done well. Yeah. I was like in the 70s, I would have been like happy, but that was never going to happen. It was never going to happen.
Yeah. Were you still really good at guitar though?
Yeah, I was okay.
Okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep talking. You see that?
Yeah, I was like, well, this is not going to leave me many options in terms of university because I have to go to uni because everyone else is doing it. And then I got into Vic Uni, sports science, and I was thrilled because I didn't think that I was going anywhere with my 55. And, you know, thrilled for many reasons. Got mum off my back, got Sash off my back, you know, did the normal thing. Went to uni, that didn't work out, but that's okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I bounced around a bit, so I did a year of sports science, deferred, did like the whole backpacking thing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Came back, you know, life's still there waiting for you. Signed up to do like literature or something like that at Bandura because I'm like really into books and writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, maybe I'll be a novelist. And I think I was just trying to keep myself in uni as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that it's like that label thing. It's like,
what's the label?
like I'm studying. So it's like you're doing something, you're going somewhere rather than just like I'm working at a job or like, yeah, not moving forward.
So study for you meant moving forward versus employment at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like everyone was in. Everyone, and like a lot of, I don't know why, but that particular year, sports science was like a really big thing. A lot of my mates have sports science degrees. None of them are sports scientists.
Well, I would hazard a guess that how many careers come directly out of that degree?
Not many. But you weren't taught that at school in like year 12.
Interesting.
It's like, get a degree, then the world is your oyster. But that's not really how it works in practice.
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, so since over the 13 years, what do you wish they had told you?
I guess just more upfront about where university leads. You can be studying for 6 years and never get a job. And that's obviously worst case scenario, but that's not how the world works. Once you do the degree, then you have to market yourself and compete against all these other people that are maybe smarter than you and have more resources to still then get the job or know somebody or time it right or this or that. So it's just like, it's only one more notch in your belt. It's not, you know, that's not end goal, happily ever after, book closed, he gets the job. You know, that's not how it works. So yeah, I guess a bit more honest about it. And then like in practice as well, like this degree in 3 or 4 years, especially at that age, you've gone through a hell of a lot of development and your brain's changing and your interests are changing. And you'll get to the end of this degree and you might not even be the same person you were 3 or 4 years ago. Because like that early on in your life, you're still going through so much change.
It's an interesting thing. I remember when I was doing my teaching degree, so because Loz, you did the dip ed, didn't you? You did the 1 year dip ed.
Yeah.
Which a lot of my friends have done now.
Yeah, and I remember. So my wife's also a teacher because teachers love to travel in packs.
Yeah, love that.
And my
Stronger together.
My brother's a teacher.
Yeah.
My sister's a teacher. My father-in-law's a teacher. Like crazy.
Awesome.
But the thing was, we had a 4-year degree. I think the fancy word is inculcation. We can fact check that.
I've mentioned this before. You have
and the reason is, over the time, it gives you the chance over the 4 years to work out who you are as a teacher. Because when you first come in, so I did landscape architecture for a year, 2 months, and then I promptly realised I was bombing, I was failing. It wasn't for me.
Yep.
It definitely wasn't mature enough. But the gift that I got over that 4 years was I actually had the opportunity to work out who I was as a teacher, but also like you discover your interest in things. And that was I didn't realise. Cool. Yeah, it was a great model to help.
Yeah.
But that works for teaching degrees. I don't know if that works for all degrees, that approach, but that was sort of like this idea that they have around how they frame university degrees and different things to give you the chance. But you're right. When you start and you go through it, you actually go from the romantic view of, I think sports science is going to be this. And then as you do it, you find out the reality and you go, well, maybe that's not for me.
Yep.
But you've still got the luxury to be able to change. So listening to you, already what's emerging. So you got the score of 52, 55, whatever it was. You go, oh gosh, like suddenly now I'm not too sure what's going to happen. It's really interesting that you made a shift where you obviously change your options so that you could then get into Vic Uni. You got in, realised that wasn't going to work. You then went travelling and then came back to pursue literature, which sounds like a curveball, right? Like I don't know how many people would go, I'm going to cut, like, was there some moment in clarity or like a moment in time when you were traveling where you saw the next step or that pathway?
No, I think I'm still so young and just enjoying my time. Like, loved it. So much fun, but no, like, none of that find yourself moment that people, sometimes say when they travel. Again, just too young and just like, it was just fun. It was just 3-4 months of just unbridled fun.
Yeah.
It's first time being out of the house for longer than a few weeks, and you're a young person that's just like, there's no rules, and you have your best friends with you, and that's just the best. And I don't regret it, but no, I don't think I came back knowing anything different.
Yeah.
Other than the world is a ginormous place and more perspective in that sense.
At the same time, though, you came back and chose a very different degree.
Yeah.
So why that choice?
I hated sports science. It was easy for me. Again, like, I'm very relationships focused. Obviously, I know that now.
Well, the literature makes sense then.
Yeah. And I didn't want to be that. I didn't see myself as a sports scientist or anything that could have come from that. I didn't want to don a lab coat and be testing people's, blood lactate levels or something like that. I just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And it was really hard.
Yeah.
So, just pivoted to try and keep people happy, find some sort of, maybe it could have worked, but it didn't. Same thing, that fizzled out, and I just deferred again with no intention to ever go back.
Can I ask, what were you hoping the literature degree was that it wasn't?
Again, in my mind, it was going to be like this movie where I just developed this, absolute love of writing, and I write a book, and then I become a novelist. Correct.
Ironically, literature is more analysis, right?
So we went to all the like art galleries. And,
maybe creative writing would have been.
Yeah, so that was part of it.
Okay.
But you have to do all these other subjects and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah, knowing what I know now, I'm not the kind of person that enjoys being in a big classroom full of lots of people with no real relationship with the teacher.
And uni's so tough like that.
Well, yeah,
uni's so tough.
It's even not worse than school, but it's, if I didn't get much from, in year 11 and 12, then I wasn't going to get anything from uni, because it's even more diluted.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. I don't think I ever connected really with any educator at uni.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I didn't reach out either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you kind of feel like, oh, they're so busy, I won't bother them.
Oh, yeah, they're like right up here on this pedestal, and you're
like, of course. Yeah.
Can't talk to them. So, yeah, but like, that's okay. Again, no regrets. Having a help hex, having one of those without using it kind of sucks, but that's life.
But I think knowing the listener too, the great thing already for people listening, because the whole idea is, so we've set it up like hearing this. So you get a thing and you go, I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go start something. That's not for me. I'll try something else. That's also not for me.
Mm-hmm.
For us knowing your pathway, like it's an exciting point of the episode to think like, well, you've still created something anyway. So is it okay if I start to now start to outline the pathway?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is good. Because if you said no, then I wouldn't know what I was going to do. But if you think of it, so graduating from high school and then you go in to try out sports science and then do some traveling. I shouldn't say do some traveling because you've spoken in your pre-pod form about that you really love traveling. That traveling is something you value.
Yeah.
You then try out, go into the literature degree. Throughout that time too, you're also bouncing around working in pubs, also working as a lifeguard at that point in time too.
Yeah, I did a lot of cool jobs.
A lot of cool jobs. You move into F45 as a trainer, is that right as well?
Mm-hmm.
And then you saved and invested in traveling. Now, I purposely chose the word invested, so it sounds like something that you keep doing is investing in traveling and different adventures.
Yeah.
COVID hits, so this once-in-a-lifetime event, COVID hits, and you somehow pivot from being the trainer to becoming a co-owner of the gym called Habit with one of your best mates.
That's it.
And throughout that time, so here's the thing that I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So listening to you already today and then reading through that pathway. So athletics and sport have been a constant for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what did they teach? What have they taught you that school didn't?
Number one, my running coach is like one of the best people in the world. Godfather to one of his daughters. He's like top 3 mentors in my life. So again, I think it's all, and I'm only just having these thoughts now because of how you've both analysed me here. I think I'm very like, dependent on a strong relationship, and that brings the best out of me. Thanks. Yeah, like always loved running, did it from a young age, decent at it, makes me happy, satisfying. Again, it's practical, stuffing that I have to do in like a book or, with a pen or anything like that. I think pretty like evident if you're improving or not. Like progress is pretty easy to analyze maybe with that. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I had great people around me. So
did it bring you a sense of self-esteem? You were good at it?
Absolutely. And again, it's like tying yourself to something. Like athletics was my thing. Kept me out of trouble. Like there's a lot of my younger life, when all my friends would be out partying, I was like, I can't go training on Monday. Even though I was like a very, very amateur runner, I just had these like, I was probably a little too strict on myself sometimes, and I do regret that. I wish I had just relaxed a bit more. But again, like it's brought me to where I am now, and I don't like to think like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really interesting because you said before, like you used the word lazy a couple of times and then later on in the and then, but for a certain avenue, you're like going against going out with your friends, party because you're so disciplined and committed to a thing. So what do you think it is about running and sport, like reduce that laziness and that procrastination?
I'm a big sport person. I don't.
Is it just the running?
At all, or many organised sports. And even running, like, I don't follow it that intensely in terms of the world stage, just the practice of it. I love.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it's personal. It's not about getting on as you said, the grander stage of things and following what everyone else is doing. It sounds like a deeply personal thing to you.
Yeah, it is.
It was interesting though, you mentioned the fact that it was easy to kind of track and that gave you something to strive for.
Yeah.
Do you see that playing out in your life still? The idea of like seeing things that you can sort of quantify and move towards? Is that something that motivates you now?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I try to not always be so outcome progress focused, but sometimes it's hard, and especially owning a business, you kind of have to be. But I try not to always have that hat on. But like it definitely gave me that sense of achievement and validation when I win a race or improve a time or place well or whatever. Yeah, again, it was like achievements and feelings that I'd never felt before in like my academic life.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's such an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
So great. So great for your self-esteem to feel like you're succeeding at something, even if it's, in a very small part of the world. It still makes you feel awesome. Sure, anyone can relate to like winning a game of sport or done something like that. Again, it might be really small to you, but it feels incredible.
I think it's a really good opportunity to do that mindset shift, though, I feel like, because even though you are telling us that it's a great accomplishment, you are diminishing it slightly. You're saying it's small, you're saying it's a little thing, but you're born clearly with some sort of talent that not everybody has. And I could say that that's the same with academia. Somebody has a mathematical brain that they just are born with that makes things easier for them. We tend to value those things higher
there's definitely
than others, right? But I'm asking you, I'm asking you whether you think that's actually really fair, the hierarchy that you've placed on these things.
No. And I'm a really big believer in my partner gave me this saying, which is just my favourite saying, is just not yucking other people's yums. So if they like playing Dungeons and Dragons, if they're really into video games, and they're just the two things that come to mind because I'm a big nerd, but like abnormal things or things that aren't considered cool or mainstream in society.
I just want to jump on what you just said. So we've got grade 4 kids, and currently it's a really interesting time to watch them figure out whether they want to move into a more mature play, whether they want to stay in a more innocent play, and like where do they fit. I'm sure you remember this, where people are saying, that's not cool, can't play that, don't do this. You remember all of that?
Oh yeah.
So one of my favourite things about my husband is that he's always just been really staunchly nerdy. Loves Lego.
Sounds like my man.
Used to play Dungeons and Dragons at school. Yeah. Loves Warhammer. Loves all the sci-fi stuff, right?
Where's he?
Yeah, I know.
They've got a special guest.
Yeah. But what I love is he still loves that at the age that he is now. And when my kids come to me, or our kids come to us and say, I don't know if this is cool, I'm like, you know what? Your dad is loving all this stuff still.
What is cool?
Correct. And it's a really...
about as cool to me.
And it's such a good... As I have that person in my home, so he's a great role model in that. But I think that's really important, that we get so swept up in this thing that society decides. But if it makes you really happy, what? Enjoy it. How good?
Why don't you want that person to be happy? What have you got against them that they can't be happy doing something that's different to what you're doing?
Well, my answer to you would be there's probably some insecurity there.
Yeah, it's all
because there's
projecting.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's no other reason, I don't believe. Yeah.
I'm still very heavily into video games.
Great.
Me and my brother are massive nerds.
I think more people are than you realise. There are people just
Really?
they just hide it.
Yeah, I don't hide it anymore. I'm
Own it.
more comfortable owning it because I just, for so long, hid it,
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's great. I feel like people that are like that are more in touch with their childlike self, and it's healthy,
Hobbies and play are super healthy.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
That.
Great.
So, and there's this moment for you. So, running, before you could fully let people realise that you're into these other things, like running was a key thing where you got to experience the sense of success and almost being valued and seen, all of that. So I think as you've moved...
I've fully gone away from your question.
No,
it's great. No,
it's great. So like the fact that, we're going to come later on to how your view of success has changed. But it sounds like originally it was maybe a little bit more academic and then it moved into, but you love this sense of being successful as a runner. And now as you become a fully grown adult, like success looks very, very different.
Yep.
But I'm interested in this thing around travel because you mentioned a few times in the pre-pod about really wanting to invest in travel and you value travel.
Yeah.
Given that majority of our listeners are Australians who love to go on a bit of a gap year or do grab whatever cash, the limited amount of cash that they've got to go off backpack. Why travel? What's the thing about travel that you value?
I will say I didn't always think that way until the gap year when Sash dragged me over to Europe. That wasn't my choice. I was just working, didn't really know what I was doing. And then she's like, we're going to Europe for 3-4 months. Are you coming with? And I was like, well, yeah, I can't. Can't just be a loser and stay back home by myself. So, I saved as hard as I could and went over and made some amazing memories and...
Made some amazing memories, and then you're going to continue. Like, what is it when you picture that trip to Europe? What are the first things that you picture in your head?
Well, I was lucky enough to go with, Ryan Volo? He's one of the boys at the gym.
Yes.
He's done a couple hero shifts for us and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a teacher also. Anyway, lovely guy. We didn't know each other as well, but then we did, and it was over the course of that 3-4 month trip, I reckon I saw upwards of 20 school friends. Like, it was just such a big thing at that time. It was just incredible. And aside from going with friends and making memories with friends, which is awesome because, you get to reap the benefits of that later when you invest in those relationships. And we're still very, very close with everyone that we went with. Aside from that, I think just experiencing different cultures. And I think that's so important to realize that, the world doesn't revolve around you. And I know it sounds so cliche, but like that is sort of the essence of traveling. You get to, speak to different people with different values and ways of life and food culture. And I don't know, it's just like a big learning experience that you can't get taught by, sitting at a desk.
It does seem prior to travel that you had quite a narrow perspective.
Yeah, I grew up on the Mornington Peninsula, so that's like very insular.
And you've had a range of different jobs, so I'm interested as well with that. So when you were working hard, saving, in between trying to travel, because you sound like you're a little bit lost, then this opportunity, Sash was like, well, I'm going. Would you like to come? You're like, yes, I'm not silly. Yeah. I'll grab whatever cash I can, work hard, save hard. Yeah. What have you learned when you think of all those different jobs where you worked at, like in pubs, in hotels, as a lifeguard, in a range of different shops? Yeah. Because it's a pretty normal thing that a lot of young people go through. What is it that you've learned when you think back from all those experiences?
How to treat people, how to deal with people, relationships, confrontation, working in a team, just being like a collaborative person, I guess. Like the pub life, the hospitality industry is like, it's just heavily dependent on having a good team of people. And I just, had some of the best times of my life working at Sereno Pub. It can be so fun. And again, it does feel like a real team environment. I imagine that's what being in like a football team would feel like. I've never played football. I think, just, those soft skills, customer service and all that sort of stuff. That's right about the time when you need to start to develop those things. Yeah. And I feel like it's really served me.
There's something about when you work in pubs. So I grew up working in pubs. Yeah. And awesome. You can talk to anyone.
You can.
So I remember publicans that I worked with, they'd say like anyone can come in and we serve them and we look after them. Yep. And that teaches you no matter who they are, no matter what walk of life, you can just have a chat with people. Yep. Exactly. And it's such a helpful skill set now when you go chat to different people, right?
It is. I think it's a little bit different now because I'm in a space where it attracts a certain type of person, where a pub's very different. It's a lot more varied. People are there for different reasons. You got the guy that's been drinking there for 40 years. Then you got a family coming for lunch with their 3-year-old. So again,
slightly different day.
You have to really sort of pivot, not be a different person, but you just got to learn to communicate in different ways. I go over to Gary and I put on the real thick Aussie accent, say good day. Yeah. And then I go put on my, respectful accent for this family coming to dine in the restaurant area. Because have you been to Sereno Hotel before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love Sereno Hotel. Shout out to Sereno Hotel.
Yes.
So like back in the day, it used to be very, like one side was, a lot more upmarket than the main bar. So sort of like almost changed personalities when you walk through the door. Yeah. Which was awesome.
Typical for the lounge versus the front bar.
Yes. Yeah. You'd walk through the door and then your whole, everything would change.
I think it's important to be able to read people, read a situation, show up in the appropriate way.
Yeah, I'm not trying to beat anyone else.
No, but I
respectful.
But it's important. It's you can't be the guy in the locker room.
No.
In a corporate meeting. Like we all have different versions of ourselves in which we play up and down it. And I think knowing when to show up in certain ways is a really important skill that you've obviously developed.
Yeah, and again, trying to make that person feel comfortable and have a good time.
Which are all skill sets that I've seen you use in the work that you now do.
Yeah, I'm going to walk up to you in a very different way that I'm going to chat Sally as the first session.
Well, it depends on the person, right? You might get a read on them and you might see.
She looks like a chess bumper.
So for the people listening, because I think when I first heard this story, and I don't want to put any pressure on you at all, when I heard the story about how you went from working in a gym to then deciding, and it's super interesting that, so relationships and you like being close with someone to bring out the best in you. Yeah. So when you started a business, you did it with someone that you're really close with, that you've got a really tight relationship with. But can you tell us the story of going from being a trainer to then owning a gym, and you're now just over 2 years in with owning this, and it's been really successful with a huge community impact. It is like testament to the fundraiser you did, where you raised, was it just over $120,000 for a family?
Yeah, just under 120, but yeah.
Yeah, incredible through that work that you've done, and that was all through you guys as community leaders.
A lot of people, but
huge effort.
Was lucky enough to facilitate.
Yes,
and yeah.
But talk us through going from COVID trainer at a gym to now being a co-owner of a business. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, so F45 just got up and running, not up and running, but I got up and running at F45 before COVID. Trainer, so much fun. It's like a party in there. And again, that was amazing for developing my sort of interpersonal skills. And that was so different from the pub setting, because you're telling someone what to do. And if they don't trust you or respect you, they just look at you like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? So that was really daunting. So yeah, that's where I sort of developed all those skills that I can use now, which is awesome. And then sort of moved into the management role there. And that was like head trainer. So we were sort of like tagged.
And that is, just for the people listening, that is your fellow
partner,
your business partner,
other life partner,
all round legend.
Shout out Nat. So yeah, we were the sort of two guys at Frankston. That was just an awesome time. And again, like really great for our relationship. And that's, I guess, where we figured out that we were really good as a team. And COVID happened, did some online stuff for F45, but I didn't really have a job. That was kind of a shit time, but it was a shit time for everyone. So, and then, got up and running again after COVID, luckily enough. Everyone flooded back, which was awesome. I think everyone was so deprived of, connection, so it wasn't hard. And then we tried to buy it, and that didn't quite work out. Again, timing and money and all that sort of stuff. And then again, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Like, had another one of those like uni moments. I was like, because that was my plan. I was like, I'll work in the business, I'll buy the business, or I'll do something similar. And that's my next step. When that didn't work out, I was really freaking out. And Nat had mentioned a couple of times, sort of in passing, we could do our own thing. I like shut him down immediately. And I was like, do you know the amount of work that is going to entail? We both were very naive, but for whatever reason, I was like, you're not really considering this, are you? And
there's always a dreamer and a handbrake in every relationship.
Yeah, definitely a handbrake.
Me too.
Like I definitely can be a dreamer, but I've realized in those sort of settings, I'm definitely a handbrake. More serious settings.
So Nat's then pitching to you. He's like, come on, I reckon we could do this thing. Yeah, you're like, well, okay, let's see.
Exactly. Like, settle down.
Yeah. And then
I know more than him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So what happens there? Like, how does the switch get flipped?
I think it was because we had no other option. And it was just a bit of well, I can't imagine doing anything else. And I don't want to do anything else. So it was like a full, this has got to work. And he called me one day because he studied to be a paramedic, and I was terrified that he was going to go and become a paramedic and like leave me in the lurch. And for whatever reason, he didn't. And he called me and he's like, I just think that this gym thing needs to happen, or whatever he said. That was, the basic version of the conversation. And I was like, okay. And then, we started talking names and themes and what we do and where we do it. And yeah, it just all came together after a couple of years of planning.
Oh,
it was a nightmare. We ran out of a pottery studio for 6 months, and that was only meant to be a 12-week thing. And we bought this huge trailer off Marketplace to put all the equipment in. My dad had to fix it, rust seal it, do all this stuff to it, painted it black, and we'd rock up 2-3 times a week at like 5 a.m., unlock the trailer, spend an hour moving all the pottery stools, wheels, ceramics out of the way, setting up for then like sometimes 2 or 3 people to come through the door, and then we'd be gone by like 7 a.m. by the time the pottery studio opened. But like that was just we were just hanging on because the factory was being built at that time. So we were just doing anything we could to, I guess, keep some momentum going.
And are you getting feedback that what you're doing is good at the same time? Because I'm mindful that you said you're someone that likes to get the feedback from.
Yeah, no, it was hard because it was just such a placeholder thing to do. Again, as I said, it was only meant to be like max 12 weeks and then the gym launches. So it definitely started to lose momentum. We weren't making any money off it. It was basically like a gold coin donation system.
Yeah.
Saturdays would get a good turnout sometimes, like, 20, 30 people to a session. But for the most part, like, people had actual gym memberships and stuff like that. Do you know Amber Lynette? No, maybe. She's a woman that pretty much came the entire time and is still at habit. So yeah, like, just so blessed to have people like that have supported us. And then, like, most of the sessions were just our siblings or our mum and dad.
So when did you go and then talk us through go from the pottery, you've got 2-3 people, 2-hour window, to suddenly now you've got over 200 people that are part of the gym, like paint the picture for the person now. So where are you at? You've gone through there to now.
I mean, like, we got the factory opened. I'm terrible with years and stuff. 2 years ago, January 6th, something like that, whatever that.
We can fact check.
Anyway,
2024-ish.
yes, there we go. And then we opened quite a...
Don't diminish yourself, Laura.
2024-ish. We actually opened with a good amount of people because we had a good following from F45. I think Nat did a lot of, like, garage sessions over COVID. A lot of friends and family that wanted to support us. Again, very grateful for that. And so it was, like, I think before we'd even opened, we had like 50 members, which was amazing. And then we opened and just slowly been chipping away to what we are now, which is, a couple hundred people coming in every day and Pilates, and just a work in progress, and still is, but it's been so fun.
So you've expanded from a pottery studio for 2 hours with 2 to 3 people.
We used to do burpees and come up with pottery.
Oh my clothes. Where was the pottery studio?
Stoker Studio.
Oh, so we've
Kate
had...
was owned it at the time. Kate Bowman.
Yes.
And she was lucky enough to lease it to us for whatever, a couple $100 a week or something like that. And we were just allowed to park our trailer out the back. And she's like, as long as you just move it out every now and again, so the grass doesn't die.
How lovely. How lovely she took a chance on you. Let it happen.
So nice.
Yeah.
We made sure it was perfectly set up every time. And it was great memories.
So you've gone from that to this large venue now where you've got not only just the gym, but you just said then as well, so it's expanded into... You've got Pilates studio and you've got different things. This isn't me trying to do a plug. The reason that I'm saying all this is because you've gone from a thing where you were really hesitant and throughout the time you've built it into something that's probably bigger than maybe you originally thought.
Oh, so much bigger.
So much bigger. And the reason at the very start I described you as a community creator and a community leader. Something I've noticed about you, and part of listening to the way you describe it, relationships matter. You constantly bring in and connect different community groups from people like Stoker Studio that you just said. So you spoke to this owner, negotiated, crafted some sort of thing so that you could both help each other out. Yep. The thing that I'm interested in is, that sounds like really great problem solving.
Yeah, okay.
Like, how do you spot those things to happen? Because that sounds like quite a unique skill set. And for people listening, like young people or the parents that are there, like, how do you do that where you can just genuinely connect with your community and get that to happen?
Again, like, so much of what I do is collaborative. Like, it's always done, in conjunction with somebody else. And I'll take help from anybody. Like, I'm not shy about asking for help or ideas, because everyone's amazing and everyone's brains work very differently. So that's what I love. Matt knew this girl somehow, and we thought, okay, gym's not opening as soon as we would like, factories get delayed, builds get delayed, yada yada. That just happens, and we thought we're going to need a little bit of a run up, and we don't have jobs, so this could be a great little soft launch to have it, get some awareness out there and momentum, I guess.
How are you getting the word out there? I mean, I could type in, I was going to say, I could type in Mornington Gym and there'd be a lot that pop up, right?
Yeah.
So what is it about your gym and what you're doing that you think people are interested in specifically?
again, like to use that word, like authentic again. Like we really care. And I think that we've crafted that like over a number of years. And I think that's something that's just popped up out of nowhere. Like we've been really intentional about when you walk in, and this is only new, but you're offered a coffee, you probably get a kiss and a hug, and it takes a while to get around to 10, 20, 30, 40 people. So sometimes we start the class late because I'm still giving out hugs. And that's fine. It just all comes from a genuine place. Like the training is fantastic and people are really working hard and that's all great. But I don't think that's the reason they stay. I think it's for the relationship for sure because we care. And again, I want to know what you did on the weekend and I want to know how your family is and all those little things.
So it's not just about the gym program. What you're actually all about it. So you guys are living out your care of relationships.
Yep. And I want other people to feel that way as well. And I want to be able to step back and remove myself from the room and everyone's chatting. Everyone's having a good time. I don't even need to be there. Yes, I want to be there in the sense that someone probably needs to lead this workout. But in terms of conversation and that group, atmosphere, that's like the end goal.
Laura, I feel like when Jasper was talking about how he experienced school, remember how he said he wanted, I shouldn't talk about him as if he's not here, but how you were saying about, so in school settings, like in the class, the way that you wished school was like for you to bring out your best is one-to-one.
Yeah.
And the way that you show up as a business owner is creating the one-to-one connection with every single person. That sounds like that's a really core part. Is that what you were going to say, Laura?
I was going to say something similar. No, I was going to say I think what you've created is ultimately what you were searching for. So with the sports science, it was playing on the thing that you felt that gave you this self-esteem, but it was in a package that wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
And then you were looking for, again, relationships, connection, and I think communication too, an ability to communicate. You're looking in that in a literature degree, but again, you didn't connect well. I think you know what you wanted, you just didn't quite find the right package. You were looking for it in places and you kept getting the no, and I think that the no is super important because it clarifies that that's the piece I want, not all this. And so you just hold on to the pieces that you like to the point that you get to this place. The fact that you actually got a lot of enjoyment from the pub job because it was that opportunity to communicate, to connect.
When someone had a good experience, it was very evident, and that gave me that sense of achievement. I've helped that person have a really great time tonight, and that was a win for me. Loved it. And that goes for the same with the gym. Has an awesome session, see them laughing, having a great time with their mate, whatever. Like, again, huge win. Yeah, there's like a couple sort of mantras that Nat and I always sort of repeat to each other and to ourselves and to anyone that can be bothered listening. Number one is like celebrating small wins.
Yeah.
When I get excited about someone PBing a gym lift, which again can sound so boring to somebody, even if it's by a couple of kilos, I genuinely care and get so excited. And it sounds really dumb, but like that's a big win for me. And they'll often play it down and I'll be a little bit too golden retriever energy for them. But I just, like, it really hypes me up. I really get excited because as you grow up, you lose those opportunities to celebrate and it gets like frowned upon to like, it gets labeled as like egotistical. Like if someone does a lift and then fist pumps, someone could see that on Instagram and be like, oh my God, what a loser. Like, and I guess that comes from somewhere, but I don't know, just.
What was that saying you said before? Don't yuck someone's yum.
Exactly. And so we try and always, stick to that, celebrate little wins. Don't forget to celebrate stuff. I think it's so important. And then the other one is the squeaky wheel always gets the most oil, which that comes from Nat. Said that to me, which I love because in our sort of team environment and with all the wonderful people that we have walking through our doors every day, we don't. Tends to happen in a lot of other places in life where the person who yells the loudest usually does get the most attention in a classroom setting, in all these other settings. So we want everyone to feel valued and everyone to get attention. I don't care if you're the strongest guy in the gym or girl in the gym or you make the most amount of noise. I'm still going to give this person over here just as much love and attention, which again, I think, as I was saying before, I think that's probably what I was looking for. But again, it's hard, The people that are the most outwardly confident probably are going to get more attention because they're asking for it.
I just pester him all the time. Keep getting in his face.
How long did it take you to learn Dan's name?
I don't call him Dan, I call him Mr. Steele.
Well, because I was really annoying. I think when I registered, I needed to do my full name.
Yeah,
It goes to
D Steele.
Or if
He's a wrestler. It's like, well, he's Mr. Steele to me now.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's it. Yeah, exactly right. So, Jasper, you put down, I never really knew what my version of real work or success looked like.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've had to shape as I went along. So talk us through that. That's what you said. This is in your pre-pod form. It was I read it. I was like, wow, I can't wait to ask about this.
Okay.
So what does real work and success mean to you now?
I don't know, helping people. I have never known what I wanted to do with my life, and I still don't know what I want to do with my life. But I know that I'm where I'm meant to be right now, and that I'm making the difference, and that I'm happy and having fun. And I'm very lucky that I'm in a space where I get to be goofy, I get to be serious, I get to train hard, I get to make people feel good about themselves and impact their lives in like in a real way that actually, is significant. And I'm very lucky that I get to talk about stupid things that I do on the weekend to my members, and they have to listen to me. Tell them that I went and saw a movie that they don't care about. And it's great. So I think for me, like my version of success at the moment is being able to be myself while still making others feel great. And I get to call it a job or a career or whatever. So I think that's, my version of success. I would hate to be doing something that I had to behave a certain way. We obviously within reason.
To show up fully yourself
Yeah.
in your job and to make people feel great in your presence and to support them in their own goals. And I think what's really great about that is that can happen in so many environments.
It can.
If you can make it really clear, as long as I'm doing those things, Dan's really good at that.
Yeah.
Like as long as these are my core values and I get to do that, the environment might shift, the role might shift.
Yes.
But if I get to do those things, then I'm continuing to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot clearer when you say it. Yeah.
She's pretty good at this.
Yeah.
So
That's not what I said.
So given all that, what would you tell parents who are supporting kids through school right now? What message?
What did I say?
What message would you tell to parents that are supporting kids through school right now?
I think I said in my pre-podcast form, Mr. Steele, I think I said something like, just listen. Again, don't yuck the yum. Don't be judgmental. Amazing quote from the show Ted Lasso. What is it?
The be curious.
Be curious.
That's it.
Yeah, with the darts.
Curious, don't be judgmental.
Such a good scene.
Love it. Love it. And I think, if my child is into cricket, I will be devastated, but I will support that to the moon, Obviously, like it's hard because you've got to know when to push them, because at the end of the day, you're a kid and you're just going to, you're sort of acting on impulse all the time. So it's like that fine line, and maybe you have to be the parents that good cop, bad cop, whatever, like my mum and dad. But just letting them know that there's just so much more to the world and I feel like the world has gotten so big. So it's not be a teacher, be a tradie, be a accountant anymore. There's like all these amazing things that you can do. It's hard. Again, I'm not a parent myself, so I feel like a little bit of an imposter when I say these things, but I'm just thinking about what I would have liked to hear just going through that.
Those are nice sometimes talk about, like, as our kids get older, is like a coach mindset. So we're not in the game. It's their game, but we're on the sideline.
Yeah.
We might still call some plays, but as we get older,
you've got the experience.
Yeah, and then they end up sort of taking more and more of the ownership and running with it, and eventually call the shots themselves. But ultimately, it's not our game. Like it's very, very. We're no longer the player too, but that's also tricky as well. What would you say to a student? So say I'm a student that's like Jasper when you were at school.
Yeah.
Who's maybe feeling like I'm not too sure. I'm maybe a bit lost. So what would be the final message you'd say to someone like that?
You don't have to know where you want to go and what you want to do right now. I think that would be the most important thing, is because I don't know. Again, I don't know what the school system's like now, but it was very much, you have to know what you want to do by the time you leave year 12, or at least a pretty good idea of. And as I said before, I still don't. So it's something that's always going to develop as you grow and your interests change and your passions change. Like just last week, I went rock climbing with my brother and he's really gotten into it recently, and have found that there is such an amazing community of people that go rock climbing every week. And they are the most nerdy, ego-free, athletic, genuine people that like he's ever met. You know, he's been gone for a month and they're already inviting him out to dinners and all this sort of stuff. They're things that you stumble upon in life by just taking chances and exploring your passions. So I think that's such an important thing, is exploring different parts of yourself, hobbies, Warhammer 40K. I don't know, like you're going to pick these things up as you age, and I think it's really important just to not be shut off from that because you're so focused on one thing. So if you're someone like me who never really knew what they wanted to do, I think, you know, I would give my younger self the advice of just like keep exploring yourself, keep trying new things, and just give that person confidence to do that. Yeah, I wish I had done that earlier, but it's okay.
Wouldn't change where you are now.
No, you know, it all happens for a reason.
Is there anything that we haven't asked you, given the listener is perhaps a student finishing year 12 or a parent navigating a student, or maybe someone who is really unclear where they're headed? Is there anything that we should have asked you that we didn't?
Well, that's a tough one. I think I told you this the other day when you asked me, you're like, how did you get here? And I was like, oh, I just took great opportunities and my partner's going to hate me saying this, but like rode on coattails of others sort of thing. And I think that's a very diminishing way to speak about myself. And she said, do not say that, but I've said it. And I think I don't really believe it. It's just like a protective mechanism. You know, everyone loves to just diminish what they do. But I think the actual core of that is just surrounding yourself with good people and creating good relationships that make you feel motivated, and you never know where it's going to lead. I feel like because of Euro, I got really close with Ryan, who got me the job at F45 or opened that door for me because I worked with him at Padua for a little while. And then I was like, what are you doing? That looks pretty cool. And he's like, oh, I'm coaching at F45. And I was like, wow, I might come try that. Could you introduce me to our boss at the time? And then, I had a great relationship with him through school. And I feel like how you treat people around you and how you interact with them is just so important. Not that, you know, I wouldn't have got there without, you know, those people. But again, it can only be a positive. It can only be a positive because people want to lift each other up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel like get a good team of people around you. Get good friends, talk to people and exist with people that have different ideas and values and like different things, you know, and don't shut yourself off from that. You know, you can have friends that are super into sport and you can have friends that are super into video gaming, like it doesn't matter. And I think it's so important to be like a diverse person in that way. So yeah, I guess, I don't know if that answers the question.
It does. I'd love to shift though, that description of riding on coattails.
Yeah.
Because you don't even like that anyway. You don't like, but that's how you've said it.
No, I say it.
You grimaced at
Yes, you knew. You're like, oh, it's gross.
Sorry,
I've
Sash.
said that.
Well,
But
if anyone said that to me, I'd be like, shut up, I'm being ridiculous.
no, but I think what it is though, it's like the idea of like the emotion of jealousy, for example.
Yeah.
Right? That emotion actually shows you what it is that you want for yourself. It's not necessarily you want to take it away from someone else.
Yeah.
You actually look at someone and you're like, I'm jealous because they're doing the thing that I want. And it seems to me similar, like you're looking at people doing something and they're actually giving you permission to want it because they've already got it or they're striving for it. And also you can't be what you can't see, right? So again, they're showing you something that is possible.
Exactly. I didn't know it was a job venue.
Yeah.
And it might not be a job. It might be an interest that someone has that they're like, I'm doing this at the moment. IG rock climbing. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't even know that was a hobby. Can I come with you? Again, it's just don't shut yourself off from those things because you never know where you might end up. And then at 40 years old, you might suddenly find out that you love
podcasting.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything like that. I think it's so important.
Well, and I think too, when you say, if you ever say, so let's take the phrase, like remove the phrase riding on coattails, because that sounds very passive, right? Like, so that is something just worked out. It's like in the movie The Matrix where they say, you know, you can show you the door, but you ultimately were the one that, like, so you might get access to more doors, but you're the one that's ultimately choosing and getting through those doors. So like the F45 job, just because you knew Ryan doesn't mean you get the thing. It's we're getting access to something and then you have to actually pursue it.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's what I've done. I think I've taken those opportunities and I've worked hard for it. But by being like willing to create those relationships and just have an open ear to what the universe is telling me. Yes, not to get too whimsical about it, but I think that's it. Again, it all comes back to relationships, I guess.
Yeah.
He rounded it out for us, Laura, didn't he?
Beautiful.
Look at him go.
Yeah.
Jasper Nettlefold, thank you so much for joining us on More Than a Score. If you do know someone else, or Jasper, if you know some other people too, for anyone out there listening as well, feel free to reach out to us at morethanascorepod@gmail.com. We love hearing when people nominate others or share their stories and would like to come on too. But Laura, they can also follow us on the Instagram, can't they? What's that again?
At More Than a Score Pod.
What is it, Laura?
More Than a Score Pod on Instagram.
That's right. That's our handle.
Yeah.
Jasper, thank you so much for joining us on the pod.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for clarifying some things about my own life for me.
That's what
therapeutic.
You're welcome.
This is definitely not therapy.
Yes,
This is
yes.
just,
We hold no medical
This
license.
is
Do
not
not listen to us.
just interviewing.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Where's your high five?
Oh, yeah. Can we, now that you,
For a living, man.
yeah, I know there's pressure. I've been practicing.
Hold on.
And the fact that you do rock climbing now means that my hand might get demolished. But that's okay.
I'm 2 weeks in. I'm pretty strong.
2 weeks. All right, settle down. All right, here we go. You ready?
What are we doing?
We're doing Chris High Five.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, yeah, for being on the episode. Just on with it.
All
Come on, right, ready?
Yep.
Oh, damn it. We can do it again. Come on. Oh, that was better. That was better.
How many times do you usually do this?
Just one and two. No, I didn't need one. Okay.
Usually one.